Hey guys, welcome to Doug Knecht Banjo Works YouTube channel. Today I've got several really good banjo pickers together on the same video, picking and sharing their ideas. Each one will play 2 solos to Yonder stands Little Maggie, and afterwards they will describe some of the ideas going through their heads while playing the solos. I want to thank everyone for sharing their talent on this video. And please like and share when you're done watching. Thank you. Hey guys, my name is Doug Knecht. I started playing the banjo when I was about 7 years old. I had a teacher by the name of Andy Weisenhofer who taught me Scruggs and melodic styles. Right now I'm playing for Ashley Lewis and Legacy. And you can check her out at her website for information on that. I'm playing a parts banjo with a Yates rim and tone ring and a Davis neck. So here's my version of Yonder Stands Little Maggie. Okay, so the couple licks that I wanted to get in there, something like that in there. Want to get that in there. It kind of gives it that. Well, it goes to the kind of the D minor chord over the F. And then next, I wanted to do a kind of a pull off, and then a bunch of inside rolls in F. So that's all on the first solo. Second solo, I want to change it up a little bit with the intro. So it's a little different approach. Instead of going, I'm going. So it gives a different flavor going into the F chord. And this is something that I didn't think through very carefully, and I probably flubbed it up a little bit, but I don't have a good explanation of why I did this other than that's what was in my head at the time. I was trying to do this. So that's the kind of stuff I was thinking of when I was doing these breaks. Thank you. Okay, next up is Kristen Scott Benson. I first met Kristen while I was touring with Chris Jones about 25 years ago. Kristen started playing the banjo at the age of 13 Her teacher was Al Olstein. Today, her musical heroes are Scott Vestal, J.D. Crowe, Sonny Osborne, and Earl Scruggs. Kristen is currently playing the banjo with the Grascals. Look for a book Kristen co-wrote with Bill Evans called 25 Great Bluegrass Banjo Solos. And she'll also be teaching at Bela Flex Blue Ridge Banjo Camp in August of 2024. So here's Kristen.
Just played these solos pretty much like loosely like Earl did on the Carnegie Hall record. I think his pickup notes for this, and I call that the no fifth string G run, and that's a because there's no fifth string in it, and that's a really interesting way to start a song sometimes. I also put the quick 5 chord in there because that's something that Flatt and Scruggs did. Right there. So just a melody intro. Up here, it gets a little bit more interesting because I just love how Earl does this. So that's just playing the G note over the F chord. And then the very Ralph Stanley style bend. Then back to the G. And that's basically all he did, but my favorite part of that is while the band goes to the 5 chord, he plays the G over it. And I love how he does that. Okay, so they're going to D. He goes back to G. But they're in D. I just love that. I think that's super cool how he did it.
Next up is Anthony Howell. Anthony started playing banjo at age 13, so he's been playing about 10 years now. He's played with Tyler Carroll and Pine Ridge, Alan Sibley, the host of the Bluegrass Trail on RFD TV, and the Magnolia Ramblers, Williamson Branch, and currently plays with Edgar Loudermilk Band. He's playing a daring rustic wreath banjo in the video. Anthony has a new album out called Hold Back the Dawn, featuring some guest vocalists and some of his original instrumentals. Here we go.
So my first solo that I played is a different take on a straightforward banjo break. In the beginning of a song, on the kickoff, you probably will play a straightforward banjo break, and maybe you want to have another banjo break that's relatively straightforward as well. That's what this break was designed for, is to have a fairly straightforward banjo break that has all the structural integrity of the song's melody. but it has some different licks in it, so you still can tell what the song is, but it's not so straightforward that it gets boring. And the second solo that I came up with is more melodic, and it has some triplets in there, and it has some of my own licks in there. But even so, the way I think about it, I don't want to play something too crazy in a song where somebody's singing, because I don't want to take myself personally. I don't want to take away from what the singer is doing. So I will use triplets and some cool licks, but I'm going to keep it fairly sparse so I don't take away from what the singer is doing.
Next up is Robby Boone. Robby started playing the banjo at age 10 and took lessons from legendary Snuffy Smith. He's played with Lonesome Road for the last 25 years. Robby helped form several other bands, including the Grass Hogs and Route 3. Earlier on, he played banjo for the Drifters from Kansas City. He's filled in with other bands like Rhonda Vincent and the Rage. Robby says he's had a wonderful picking life. Robby's picking appears in Banjo Newsletter back in the year 2006. He plays a 1929 OPF Granada out of the 9470 batch, nicknamed Norman by Robby, in honor of Norman Clark, who owned and played it and was a bluegrass pioneer from the St. Louis area. The banjo has been converted with a high-profile tone ring, flathead tone ring, and a Frank Neat neck. Next up is Jacob Underwood. Jacob has been playing the banjo for about 14 years, being the last instrument he has picked up. He belongs to the Bluegrass Express, a band that has existed through a couple generations. Jacob has a few solo projects, including the Banjo Files and My Hope is in the Lord. In the video, Jacob is using his Bishline Harvest Custom Maple, a line of banjos he's played exclusively since 2012. Next up is Greg Cahill. Greg started playing harmonica and accordion at the age of 7. His parents' love for Dixieland music acquainted him with the banjo, and in high school and college he got a banjo. He played in a folk music trio in college on the harmonica, guitar, and long neck banjo. but when he heard Earl Scruggs play the Ballad of Jed Clampett on TV, he said he was hooked. In 1971, he sold the long neck banjo and bought a used bow tie 5-string and took a few lessons. His musical influences included his mother's piano playing, Earl Scruggs, J.D. Crowe, Jethro Burns, Tony Trischka, Alan Munday, Bill Keith, Bela Fleck, Eddie Adcock, Sonny Osborne, Courtney Johnson, and many more. Today, Greg still heads up the Special Consensus out of Chicago. His website is up with his latest touring schedule. Their latest CD, The Great Blue North, is available. There we go.
So basically what I was thinking on these two solos for Little Maggie was to keep the sense of the song and kind of have some melody in there. And the first solo, I always liked the way Ralph oftentimes started Little Maggie, which was just a pinch and then right into the, instead of, it was just, etc. And then I just tried to keep the, the flow of the melody. And stayed with that and stayed down the neck kind of, but then just put made a little statement at the end. But still, kind of bluesy and wanting to keep the sense of the song. And then for the second solo, just stretch out a little bit more, but I'm still moving, at least with the flow of the pitch, up and down in pitch. And then just a lick there that I just like, but then I tried to get a little more tradition. And then maybe another statement. So I'm trying to at least have the sense of the song there, whether I'm playing the exact melody or stretching out a little bit. Still want to have the feel for the music, and that's what I was thinking.
Thank you for watching this video.